I recently read Richard Le Gallienne's Young Lives, clued to me by JC, which book described his younger life, loves, and his written words of poetry and prose, en route to his job as a columnist, novelist, and poet, his young romances, beginning around the age of 20, these endeavors of love having been necessarily earlier restricted during the prudent Victorian era. What a difference 150 years makes. No more chaperones. Go back thousands of years, though, when the lifespan was only about 40, if that, and we'll find marriage at 13. So it is that nature still gets our bodies ready for procreation, ever by 12. Now, and I heard that it may have even moved up a year or two. Gallienne became relatively famous. I'm not, but JC had pointed out some similarities, such as lineage, history, general outlook, metaphysics, romanticism, elfin lore, writing a Rubaiyat, sailing ancestors in poetry prose, not to mention the love of the female form. My reading of Gallienne's exploits spurred me to write my own autobiography, realizing that there were enough twists and turns of fate in my life to carry it forth, and from even younger times. Plus, there were ever the universal themes that a general audience could appreciate. Plus, I had a reservoir of untapped material. I'm 66 at the time of this writing, and I've perhaps exhausted the other genres, having done near one of each. Who really cares, though, about my life in particular? Probably not many, but I still had one of the easiest writing jobs, the retelling of actual happenings. And so a lot of words flowed out, rather effortlessly, they practically writing themselves. I had to take advantage of myself while I was still in the mood. There are also the heights of emotion that sweep one over and through while writing. Do I have further research materials beyond memory? Yes. I'd kept every note ever passed to me, as well as every letter received. I don't see them playing a large role, though, but they provide a timeline. The past is never past, at least while we're alive. Memories, while recognized and ephemeral, still have a very basic core of persistence. How does this past remain, and what kind of substance could there be that lives so completely outside time? What makes it so strong that it can ever survive the merciless climate of the well-trafficked brain? In what storm's eye does it reside, in the center of the maelstrom of the change and growth of cells? What are these indestructible grains that persist among the shifting sands of time, bare and alone? A memory returns from a taste of butterscotch, from which grandma's olden days home then arises, and then related connections further become. Reminiscence stirs connections within the mind, each little germ of recollection ballooning into a wondrous and glorious revelation. How do such apparitions reappear, sink and swell, float and change, withering the acids of time's reflux? We know why, prions, but this essence pales compared to the sensation of life's enjoyments, redux. Sometimes I go to bed a bit early, just to feel cozy, and it is in this cocoon that my thoughts turn to so long ago, usually through a female focal point, and then laterally onto local events, which grants a correlation to the year and the season. It was summer 1960. I was 12 and a half, adrift in boyhood's time of June. The school year had ended a week ago. The whole of Oak Park, Forest Park lay before me and my bicycle, if I didn't feel ashamed to use it. I put my baseball cards in a box and gave them to the kid across the street. I walked down Winona Avenue, a block and a half, and then one avenue over via Garfield Street toward Enswiler's store, my destination, located at the corner of Home Avenue, but at the last second headed over, across Garfield, to strike up a conversation with a girl who was standing at a railing and watching the Congress Expressway being built. I'm friendly, I said to myself, to ease my apprehension. There were clunking noises much further down, which had been drawing closer each day, from the large and long metal and linking pieces being driven down far into the ground by a pile driver to form the basis for a retaining wall. I thought, she might be young, if not just thin, but there was no turning back now.
I'm Little Lulu, that's me, though I'm more serious than humorous, although at times comedic, but not on purpose. My life is upside down, but I like keeping track of the expressway progress down there.
So, you're a comic book character come to life?
Lincoln, 6th grade, aren't you? Yes, or I just was, it was boring.
So, you're a comic book character come to life? Yes, or I just was. It was boring. I'm just out of 7. I'm Patrick, which is my middle name. For my first year, I was Austin, my first name. But since my father and grandfather are named Austin too, sometimes all 3 of us would come when Austin was called. I would usually beat them, although I could only crawl. It's about a block wide and 25 miles long.
Oh, Patrick, I'm thinking of all those people that had to be moved, their homes torn down, and that we already poor South Oak Parkers in these last 3 little blocks of the village are being chopped off, isolated from everything, living on the wrong side of the tracks.
Yes, we've been severed, or at least separated, Lulu, from all the rest, but the bright side is that we now have our own little corner of the world right here. There is to be a narrow walking and biking bridge right here at Home Avenue. Yes, and see, they're starting one of the pillars over there. But you're right, of course, and I'm a dreamy optimist, for the situation is now even worse while Oak Park and Harlem Avenues are closed and being turned into temporary bridges.
So, you've been reading about it? I like information. Well, I'm lucky to be out here, for I have to take care of my mother, but she's sleeping now. I cook, I clean, pay the bills, everything. You can't come over, no one can come over. We live in that big apartment building right across there, but our apartment is on the Home Avenue side, so I can't see the expressway from there.
I'll be right back. Are you still going to be here?
Yes, but just for a while. I like your shoes. They're black and curvy and your pants look tough.
You're perhaps a toughy type of girl, with that bandana on, the metallic stone necklace, and the silver-studded belt. Perceptive. Well, I'm tough in sports, and I can ride a bike for 100 miles, way out to the prairie and beyond. But I also read a lot, and I love nature, adventure, and all things unknown. And so if that be a sweet spot for retreat, mystery, and enjoyment, then my toughness be its contrast, but also its protector.
I'm tough as nails, with the tender yet to come. I feel down today. Stay and talk to me. I like to know things too. How come we're so interested in that big, long hole out there?
In short, it's new. Well, maybe you think I know things, and I do some, but I am ever learning. Probably something in us reacts to whatever is new, so that we might attend to it in case it's going to matter somehow. Especially on this large scale, out of this world, monstrous undertaking, and perhaps even a plain old change to a parking lot, might seem very interesting for a day or two. I'll let you know if I ever really figure it out.
Tell me more in long. I'm listening, but what else about the expressway?
Oak Park is not letting there be any exits totally within it for security, but just at the east and west ends, at Harlem Avenue and at Austin Boulevard, the last one being way down from here, at the border with Chicago. The ramp at East Avenue was even half done, but now there can't be one there. The reasoning also being that our 2 high schools are on East Avenue and don't need to have any more traffic.
One is Fenwick, isn't it? A Catholic school just for boys. Boring, just boys. Half the world shut out in Gonzville, erased from nature.
Yes, true, and I'm making sure that I go to the public high school. The on-ramps at Harlem and Austin are in the center, so that Oak Park can have less disruption on the side streets of Garfield and Harrison that run all the way alongside. But that means entering and merging onto the expressway into the fast lane, a probable source of accidents. Plus, it limits the width here to 3 lanes each way, but with 4 lanes in Chicago, meaning that a bottleneck will form during rush hour.
What else about this 8th wonder of the world? I'm serious. It dominates my scene. Somehow it helps me cope, but for that pounding noise. Dear old Oak Park. Those pounding and clunking noises are driving me crazy, and in a month or so they'll be right here at my doorstep. I can't take it. They obliterate my thoughts. Puts me on edge. I'm cranky. Luckily, I may be away, and soon. How come you stopped to talk to me anyway?
Yes, and I can hear them at home. Every big clunk only seems to drive the pieces in only an inch or two. The concrete wall around them will keep everything from caving in. I like meeting neighborhood people. My Catholic school just seems strange, as not very normal, except for a few great kids here and there.
My life is far from normal. I had to grow up fast.
I do see a serious and weary look about you, but one from which your beautiful features still shine on through. They mean business, but there's a beauty and a gentleness too. You look wonderful. You are on the cusp. Maybe you need to eat more, if I dare say. You are as a flower opening, a dream solidifying to stake its root into world.
Her face lit up, but then went back. My seriousness will turn to wrinkles long ahead of their time. I don't have much time to think or feel.
Need help?
You can't come over. We get some help at times during the school year and from my friend Sharon Dalton when I'm not around. You like my features, do you? Where do you get all this stuff?
I read, I look, I learn, I listen. I just did. To get to you, Garfield Street, our streets are named after the presidents. Yes. And Harrison, across this big ditch? At first, yes, for a while with some omissions. But they got mixed up around here. Eisenhower set up the money to build this expressway. Maybe they'll name it after him one day. You like me?
Sounds like crossing a street. What kind of a name is that, anyway? Didn't Garfield get shot? Great. There were two. One died of pneumonia after about 30 days in office, and the other was not very effective. Wonderful. 2 dead beats. Are the streets in order? We are the oddballs.
You like me?
I feel a certain something.
I'm a goner, but you're not that far ahead of me in feeling those somethings. I'm old for my grade.
You're too tough for that, and you're coming into bloom. You know, my breasts just started popping out a few months ago, as pinpoints and pencil points, and then as like felt marker size and some more, but they're not all there yet.
Well, that was bold, and if I may be too, I wonder if they feel, tender still.
We need to pour the foundation by tomorrow!
What did you say? I cannot hear you over this racket.
I said the foundation!
You know, if you keep smiling like that, people might think you're enjoying yourself.
They do, so yes, I am tough and tender, ha ha, and I don't know why I told you. Sometimes I just blurt things out. Back and forth talk, and life is fine sometimes, but time just has to move for me much quicker.
It's because little Lulu is torn across many worlds.
She is, and she has to go now. I'm not at my best right now. I'll be away for a month or so, at my father's, probably leaving as soon as tomorrow.
Next time I see you, you will be Lucille.
Yeah, I will be, won't I?
See you then. Promise?
I'll try.
What a strange afternoon it had been. It going just like that, so brief and near mystical, yet holding the mysterious promise of the more enduring. She in her rare and younger maturity that could only flower and fulfill itself more grandly. This glimpse of magic and honesty arriving during a week in which nothing else had really happened at all. But for us, getting our new baseball uniforms. Well, we give ourselves happily into the world, planting seeds of joy along the often barren and rocky way, but can never quite know the twists and turns of the seedlings, if they even be, and if they can even form stalk, which may go on to wither and die or grow strong enough to spread and bloom, with flowers to show their colorful, bright, and sunny faces to us and to heaven. She liked particulars, and so I'd given them. For a moment life had giveth, and then it had tasteth away, ever the blessing with the curse. Well, the time had been fine, and then she had to walk away. If this was our last goodbye, then it had come near before a real hello, although it had gone well enough. Well, I wouldn't say nothing at all happened of late, for I had kissed my cousin a few months ago, and that was sacred, and I wanted it to stay that way. Plus, with baseball, touch football, pool, biking, tennis, and friends, it wasn't like I was going to give up all that to hang out with a now unavailable 6th grade girl. Well, okay, going into 7th, but I was headed for 8th. Only a grade apart, But this was a gap seemingly as wide as an expressway at this time in life. But she did say that she was old for her grade. So then, why was I camped just a few houses down Home Avenue on Michael's front porch the next day, with him, of all kids, at a place I'd never been? For he was an ungraceful type who had aggravated everyone, girls and boys alike. Maybe I could head him in a better direction? Well, yes, maybe. But he seemed intractable. I'd tried before. He was hopeless, I thought, at least for now. I was here to watch for Lulu. Half the day went by. I really needed to be practicing pitching somewhere. A car finally drove up. Lulu's father stood about it, not looking happy. He tapped his fingers on the roof. He waited, then called out, "Let's go, Lucy." Lulu came out, carrying a large suitcase, its size suggesting that she'd be gone for a long time. Did she look my way? I couldn't really say.
Let's go, Lucy.
After baseball practice, I returned to our expressway perch and sat down to read a book, losing track of time. Nothing happened. I returned the next night with another book, gliding away to exotic lands within its pages. There was nothing to expect. It just felt good to be here, to sense the aura, to prolong its lingering. Dusk fell. A bit later, a woman came out of Lulu's apartment, evidently her mother, and she so very slowly walked down Garfield toward Forest Park. My head was still looking into my book, but I had slightly shifted my eyes to above the top of the page. I couldn't make out her features, though. I didn't have to follow her, for I'd seen her before, carrying a bottle home in a paper bag, bought in Forest Park, near my St. Bernardine school, at Harlem Avenue, where there was a bar I'd seen her in, for we'd often gone bowling next door. Oak Park was dry, nowhere to buy a bottle, no bars at which to buy a drink. When she came back, I was gone. The next day, I gave Michael $5, asking him to keep an eye on Lulu's apartment. You know, nothing obvious, but just when he happened to be on the porch or outside. I then bought a popsicle and checked on the expressway for a bit, then wrote a note on the popsicle wrapper and put it under a rock, but with some of the writing showing. I'd probably have to restore it if it got too wet or faded. I often use this street, and so I could attend to this little hope. I felt silly. I didn't know what might become of what I was doing, but it felt good to be doing something. The note was still there a month later. I'd replaced it once, since it had been disrupted by the passion of the pounding machine. Meanwhile, Michael had long since reported about a blonde girl coming down the alley and out and around to Lulu's apartment. On some days, she leaving a while later with a bag of trash that she'd deposit in the trash bin in the alley, and then walk on. I prompted Mike for more details. Mike, when she got to the end of the alley after throwing the trash, which way did she turn? Mike, I know you've dropped out of Lincoln School, but you do remember seeing her there, in your class, and she is beautiful, isn't she?
I saw. She turned left. I watched her all the way each time. Couldn't take my eyes off of her.
Did she arrive from the alley too?
Yes.
Did she look happy?
Huh? Yes, she was prancing and maybe even singing. Do I get another $5?
Yes and no, since I'm not rich, but here's another $3 for your trouble, and in case anything else comes up. Michael looked perplexed, as if why would he be watching her walk all the way away? So there it was, left. There was but an apartment building there, on Garfield and Kenilworth, then nothing but the new expressway dig. This girl had to be Sharon, she taking the shortest way around. If she lived further down, then she'd take Garfield all the way, for her arrival at least. I'd seen her at Carroll Playground, where we had softball games. There were not many things, events, or people that could escape my all-seeing eyes. My best friend, also named Patrick, had liked her, but had noted her youth, she thus having been classified as still being on the underside of that great divide known as puberty. Wait till he sees her now or in a few months. Her entrance had to be on Kenilworth, and so it was, for I looked but didn't proceed, for it looked like Lulu had everything taken care of for her mother. Plus, it wouldn't be right to befriend her friend before I knew Lulu better. There were limits to this game, but information was still info. So they were close, Sharon and Lulu, a team, but kind of like sun and moon opposites. blonde brightness and a happy-go-lucky shine, at large, versus the brunette darkness and the worn life of a dark Gothic world of drink on one's shoulders. The boys would eventually all fall for Sharon on sight. Yet Lulu was pretty too, though more as an elfin waif, she more dwelling within, with deeper cares and thoughts, which would be perfect for one-on-one. What was I? I was sunshine too, true, but many lights shone for me. A wider view that went all ways, even with studying mixing with sports, but was ever a romantic overall. So I was the stars, the beautiful combination of light and dark, night and day, for the stars were suns. I was happy for them. What more could I do? I'd not intruded. Spied, yes, but just out of love, curiosity, and concern. Did I say love? No, it couldn't be. It was just the newness, like the expressway, but it was a rather large newness, just the same. Catchy music kept playing in my head. Since it wouldn't leave, I embraced it. I floated on its strains. It was her, yes, and then it came to be accompanied by Martin Denny's A Taste of Honey that Pat Hickey had played for me. 5 weeks had now passed. We all been hanging out a lot with Judy, Vicky, Peggy, and some others from Maple Avenue. Fun, but not worth a lot of mention, but for Judy, kid stuff. Michael had walked over to my house to give me an ambulance report. Lulu's mother had fallen outside, had been taken away, and then had been returned the next day. Her liver will fail before she reaches 40, Michael. Don't drink, at least not excessively, best not at all. Maybe some wine with dinner, years from now. No more reports arrived. Lulu was gone, gone, gone. August had begun a week ago. To me, this was the real Midsummer's Day. So too, I was part of a team named Hickey and Torney, each of us called Pat. I had mentioned to him that I knew where Sharon Dalton lived, and that he might happen to be around there or look about Carroll Playground to get another updated opinion on her. He didn't seem ready to pursue this. I happened to have met someone several weeks ago, Judy down Maple Avenue at McDonald's, technically in Berwyn, after asking about the flowers in her hair and if she was a flower girl from San Francisco.
I'm from Jersey, my sister and I, and we're staying with my aunt and uncle for 6 weeks, just across from the baseball field at Maple Park.
Not that Judy wasn't pretty, for she was, but she seemed, well, ungrounded to me. Perhaps it was also that why should I begin a short summer thing and then just have it end? It was also that little comic book kid, Lulu, she at that rare and precious time of being on the verge of womanhood. But she was gone, wasn't she? And/or would have to eventually live with her father somewhere. Probably. Judy had glued onto to me, and I didn't know how it would play out. But this was life, right? In summertime, in a youth that would never be so young again. I came to enjoy her company, although I couldn't really get into her Frank Zappa music, or her pot smoking, although I surely had more than a few, and had inhaled them too.
Isn't it great, this stuff?
Yes, very relaxing, but I'm either too lazy to move, or I'm turning into a stone monument.
You're stoned, and that would be a statue.
Well, there was not any deep chemistry between us, but this is not to say that we didn't have some sweet and happy times in the land of eternal sunshine and moonglow. It just wasn't fully romantic, but to my relief, she let it be known early on that they didn't do any deeply sexual things back in Jersey, and so would not here either. I hadn't asked, but we had done some foreplay. Such things, though, didn't seem to apply to her 1 year younger sister, who, while a rather plump girl, seemed to want to do everything with every boy. Well, one was in vacation mode and the other wasn't. Well, aside from true romance, these freer attitudes were still surprising to me. Of course, I was in a Catholic school, wherein the opposite seemed to be true, that probably the girls might have been taught to fear any contact with the boys, their holy of holies being so sacred that nothing should be allowed to even lead in that direction, such as even kissing, which is surely a deep knock above on the basement door. What instruction did the boys get? Not much. Lulu was right, I really wasn't very far ahead, the Catholics perhaps having retarded me, although I personally gave up the faith in 5th grade. Of course, boys and men can be aroused even by just looking or thinking, so it wasn't really that I was ever really heading toward the kind of chastity that many of the Catholic girls had developed. Still, I had been sheltered from one of human nature's finer expressions. We did see a movie of some stills in 6th grade showing a boy's thing squirting all over the place. Or that's how it seemed from so many droplets pictured. Way back in 1st grade at Ascension School, in my only grade there, I sat across from a girl named Joanne. And one day I saw her dress rise up to show her thigh. And boy, I was in love and lust for a day. I then promptly forgot about females for the next 6 grades and a half until falling in love with Sister Theophilia in 6th grade until she quit and ran away with our young priest. I used to walk her home, which was about 10 feet, to the convent. Love in 1st grade, ridiculous. There was also a Jody whom I walked home with, she revealing to me her butt once. But more interestingly, led me to a freezer full of ice cream and popsicles in her basement. Now this to me was heaven. We were friends and had our pictures taken together, which shows that it happened. But I hardly remember any of it, but for the goodies in the freezer. My first day's report from Ascension, by the way, upon first seeing a Mother Superior, was that she called herself Mother Monkey.